Prime Minister Narendra Modi has extended his greetings on the occasion of National Space Day. Sharing a video on his social media handle on X, PM Modi said that in the new global order, India is continuously expanding its space sector.
मैंने अयोध्या में कहा था, ये नए काल चक्र की शुरुआत है। ये एक नए काल चक्र का उद्गम है। इस नए काल क्षेत्र में ग्लोबल ऑर्डर में भारत अपना स्पेस लगातार बड़ा बना रहा और ये हमारे स्पेस प्रोग्राम में भी साफ साफ दिखाई दे रहा है। हम सब ने मिलकर 2047 तक भारत को विकसित राष्ट्र बनाने का संकल्प लिया। इस संकल्प को सिद्धि तक पहुंचाने में स्पेस सेक्टर की भूमिका बहुत बड़ी है। आज ये जेन जी इंजीनियर्स, जेन जी डिजाइनर्स, जेन जी कोडर्स और जेन जी साइंटिस्ट नई नई टेक्नोलॉजी बना रहे हैं। प्रोपल्शन सिस्टम हो, कंपोजिट मटेरियल्स हो, रॉकेट स्टेजेज हो, सैटेलाइट प्लेटफॉर्म्स हो, भारत का युवा आज उन क्षेत्रों में काम कर रहा है जिनकी कुछ साल पहले कल्पना भी संभव नहीं थी। भारत का प्राइवेट स्पेस टैलेंट पूरी दुनिया में अपनी अलग पहचान बना रहा है। आज ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए भारत का स्पेस सेक्टर एक एट्रैक्टिव डेस्टिनेशन बन रहा है। इसरो की सफलता देखकर कितने ही बच्चों के मन में ये बात आती है कि बड़ा होकर मैं भी साइंटिस्ट बनूंगा। वो रॉकेट का काउंटडाउन लाखों लाख बच्चों को प्रेरित करता है। हर घर में कागज के हवाई जहाज उड़ाने वाला जो एरोनॉटिकल इंजीनियर है, बड़ा होकर आप जैसा इंजीनियर बनना चाहता है, साइंटिस्ट बनना चाहता है। हाथ में तिरंगा है, अंतरिक्ष है, 140 करोड़ देशवासियों का सपना है, वही हम सबका संकल्प है।
All right, and to discuss more on India's space journey, we've been joined by Mr. Ratan Shrivastava. He's space expert. So, very warm welcome to DD India News Hour. To begin with, today is National Space Day. How do you see India's space journey?
Thank you, Siddharth, for having me here. And India's space journey in the last, I would say, 10 years has been phenomenal. Because if we go back to just about 2012 or 2013, we did not have probably more than 400. Today we have 400 plus startups.
Yeah, right.
We did not have even 40 at that point of time. The thing is this, that the policies were not conducive at that point of time to have the space startups. And also ISRO was seized of the matter at that point of time to just put launches and satellites in space. But today we have every category of the space, I would say, covered by the startups and the young engineers, as the Prime Minister said, including Chandrayaan, which, today is the third space day that we are having.
Yeah.
The third space day is happening because we have put in a lot of effort in Chandrayaan from startups, from the Indian industry. You'll be surprised to know that today PSLV is about 99% funded by the industry. And probably you also know that PSLV is going to be launched by private sector and the public sector from next year onwards. Because ISRO must be freed up from doing these launches to do what they're supposed to do as a space agency, which is to say interplanetary travel, innovation, and to ensure that our future missions like Gaganyaan, like Bharatiya Antariksh Station are success. So that is what they're supposed to be doing, and the industry is putting up the foot forward because the policies are there. There's a company called Agnikul, which was incubated by IIT Madras, and if you look back about 10 years back, they would have never existed because they are supposed to be doing what SpaceX is doing. That is launching and relaunching. And of course, Pawan Chanda and his company Skyroot, they've already done this orbital launch that they've done. So what we are seeing here is this, that probably like Uber taxi, we will have a space launch on demand, at least up to 500 kgs.
All right. You've many a times highlighted the space policy that we have, but first I would like to ask you that how important are the space startups for this particular sector, because from 1 in 2014 you've also mentioned, and now we have around 440. This is the data till August. So how important are they when we are talking about India's space journey, and what has changed in India's space policy, which everyone is hailing, including the CEOs of the space startups?
So Siddharth, there are multiple factors into it. For example, we have something called the IIST, right? So you have to have education for space, which is the Indian Institute of Space Technology. And at the end of the day, these are the people who are feeding a lot of, I would say, technical manpower into the space startups. Apart from that, the fact remains, funding is important. Without funding, you can't have anything, right? So the government has created a fund, as well as the private sector is putting money into it. So what we are seeing here today is this, for example, Pixel. If Pixel wants to go global tomorrow, I think they will have a valuation as good as anybody else. Because Pixel is not doing launches. Pixel is in a different sector, right? For example, if Skyroot tomorrow wants to raise funds, any PE or venture fund will be happy to invest money into it. Why? Because there is a possibility of seeing success. This success would have not come had the government not put the initiative, and had the government not created, for example, an agency like InSpace, which is supposed to be the bridge between the industry and the ISRO. So I think policy has a lot of role to play in this.
Oh, definitely. And certainly you mentioned that, right, that massive change in how India's space sector was and how it is right now, and of course the important role of the startups which they play in India's space journey. Thank you so much, sir, for joining in on DD India News Hour.
Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you, and enjoying this conversation with you.
Definitely. It's likewise, sir.